Well, not entirely. For one, I do not believe that Vice President Kamala lost the election because she's a woman. I think America is ready for a female president. I mean, the fact that Hillary Clinton was able to win the popular vote, attests to that fact. She lost the election at the Electoral College. Now, I think that Kamala's problem, began, in the way she was nominated as a Democrat Party nominee. It wasn't really a democratic process. And then she had some weaknesses as a candidate. Throughout the entire campaign, she didn't do a single press conference as a formal press conference. Everything about her seemed to be rehearsed, and she wasn't, I think that Americans recognized that she probably was not ready to lead and she was not the right first female president. And I think that's what happened at the end of the day, yes.
I mean, hold on.
I'm weighing on that.
Okay. So before he weighs in on that, I want to be able to talk with you a little bit more about the figures, because I think a lot of the things that we're hearing this morning, I think the way we feel about how the campaign went and things that we heard, are there figures backing your claims? Because based on the figures and polls that have been made, it was basically a situation where the focus really was on the economy. That was what in many ways determined, the voter turnout and the participation of the American people, the economy, and her ability to communicate her plans for economic growth. For many people, they felt it was lacking. So she lost out on bases that are typically won by Democrats. Latinos, for instance, especially Latino men, Hispanic men.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the demographics, and the younger generation, and inability to connect with those demographics. What do you make of these polls? And juxtaposing that with your thoughts on what made her not clench this particular election, despite the fact, as Mr. J.K. Pele said, that the reversal of Roe v. Wade by the Tinubu administration, and for me, myself included, I thought that was it. She was going to win because every woman would vote for her, What do you think happened here?
Yes, so I agree with you perfectly on the point that the economy was the main issue. And I think it should have been clear to everybody that the economy was the main issue. Now, the problem, just like you noted, is that she was unable to communicate clear economic ideas and policies, and considering the fact that she was part of the Biden government that had brought the American nation to the state in which it was, she needed to really do much more to distance herself from that administration in a very clear manner that the public can relate with. And she was unable to do that. So that's why I say that it wasn't a question of being a female president. It was a question of not being the right female president. She was unable to properly communicate, just like you said. Now, talking about the polls, I think America has a problem with polls. And I think that the lesson to be learned from this election for them, and even from the previous election, is that there's something wrong with their polling. And because you could see the polls even a day and 2 days to the election showing Kamala in the lead in so many of these swing states. And at the end of the day, what did we have? It was a total wipeout from President Trump. And the same thing happened, in the previous elections where you had Trump even down by 16 points in some polls. And then at the end of the day, he lost, maybe by a point or more. And so it shows that there's something fundamentally wrong with the polling system. I don't want to say there's anything fraudulent in it, but then there's something that needs to be looked at in the polling system in America.
Let me get